Hey guys, Thunder here. Today I want to bring you something really special. This is a build video for a build referred to as the Shinobi. This build has an incredibly long history in Questland and goes back to times before artifacts were released. It's a very impressive build and a very unique build. In fact, so unique that it's normally not used very often, despite its power. And we'll showcase its power in a minute. In fact, when artifacts came out and there was this huge burst of power for everyone, this build was almost all but forgotten. And it's thanks to a great member of the community named Hoskuld, who actually rediscovered the power of this build and brought it back to the light in the community. And it's really helped out a ton of people since. It's an amazing build. So let's showcase this. Hopping over to my hero here, the first thing we're going to notice is that I removed all my defensive orbs. And if we go take a quick look at my collections, I removed all my defensive collections. So I have just removed as much of my defensive stat as I actually could. Because this build thrives with low defense, and we'll show that in a minute. So jumping into our weapons, we have the tried, the true, the wonderful Hekatombus. We really love this red order passive. Whenever we heal, we gain 2 red spirits. It makes it so easy to keep our board full of red. It's wonderful. We're pairing this with the wonderful Thunderclap, and we're here for the support for Destroyer's passive, which is when we use that 4 red, you can get 1 white. Tons of optional offhands in this slot. You could use Azazel, Green Crystal Shield, tons of them. Lots and lots of them. They're available often during the red battle events on the spinner wheel as well, or during the typically the schemes or the Eternal Key QE. Alright, moving down to talents. Let's start on the white here, Crest Guardian. You'll see this paired with a lot of our builds that rely on Hekatombus and the support for Destroyer's passive in our offhand, because every time we use 4 red, we use 1 white, which is going to trigger a heal, which is going to buff our attack even more as well. So use 4 red, gain 2 red, and gain an attack stat buff. Really strong. Alright, now moving over to the really special part of this build. Coming into Assassin's Way, we're going to be focusing on the 4 red of Bleeding Cut. For starters, this is 4 melee attacks. That's a lot of melee attacks, alright? So your dodgy opponents are probably going to get hit. In addition, we're putting a bleed on the opponent, so even if they get hit once, they're going to be bleeding. Now, bleed is special, and this is not very clear, but that 25% you see there is 25% of the opponent's attack stat. This means that if your opponent has a really strong attack, this is going to hurt a lot for the opponent. So this is really strong. Now, in addition to that, down here, when our shield is destroyed, so you noticed us getting rid of our defensive stat? This is why. We'll have an 80% chance, which is really high, of triggering a 2 blue. Now we're going to pair this with Divine Force. And our 2 blue is Lucky Chance. It's going to give us 2 more attacks, totaling up to 6 potential attacks a round, which is massive. Massive. And when our shield is destroyed as well, melee attack for 100% of these, so instead of 50% here, it's 100. So this is 6 melee attacks a turn with a percentage health heal. So we have a magic health heal from Crest Guardian, a percentage health heal from the Divine Force. So this could bring back 2 to 4 red a turn on 6 attacks when our shield is broken. This is stacked in the offensive category for this build. The moment that shield breaks, we are turbocharged. So let's showcase how this build works, because it is wonderful. Now, one of the best levels for this build that people struggle with a lot is the aqueduct in the Kraken Hall, because this level is full of really challenging melee enemies and some annoying dodge in here. So let's showcase this. So coming in here, the first level is an amazing place to get your shield broken and do a ton of damage. For starters, we have two strong attack enemies. First, the Butterball here has over 500,000 attack. Over here, the Heavy Ogre has again over 500,000 attack. And if that was not crazy enough, there's an attack totem giving them a 25% buff, and then on its turn, picking one of them for a 30% attack buff. Huge attack stats on these enemies. Bleeds are going to melt them. Right? So what we want to do here in this first round is start building some red, and then let them break our shield. Right? Hopefully we're not going to kill any of them here. Perfect. We spread it out. They all got a bleed, which just ticked really hard on them. I got stunned, so it ticked twice and did a bunch of damage, as you can see. They broke my shield. So this is going to turbocharge Assassin's Way here. Right? And now let's let them have it. Boom, 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 boom. 6 attacks. Just an incredible amount of damage just came out of this. We just demolished that first layer of enemies. Now coming up here, we have an annoying res on this guy, which is not bad because we have 6 attacks. So that's not going to hurt us much. Over here, we have another melee character with a decent attack. In the back here, we have this Cold Mage, which just has a ton of magic resist for itself and allies. Fortunately, we have 100% melee attacks on 6 attacks. So we are just going to completely melt. Look, they're all just gone. Crazy amounts of damage. Right? Alright, now coming into this last level with the boss over here. This guy is really the bane of our existence because he's giving 75% melee resistance to his allies. The moment he dies, this level melts because he is keeping them all alive. The boss here has a strong attack stat, and this guy has a lot of dodge and a lot of attack here as well. So we're just going to let him have it, and we're hoping the RNG puts a lot of attacks on this guy. And the moment that barbarian dies, we just... oh, there it goes. The 75% melee damage is gone. Melee reduction is gone. And we just melt them. They are deleted. The Shinobi build is incredibly high damage output. If you are fighting melee enemies that are dodgy or have high offenses or anything like that, this is incredible. This build will demolish. Alright, this is going to be the end of the Shinobi guide. I hope you all enjoyed it greatly, and it can help you get you through some of these really challenging campaign levels. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. It helps other people find these Questland tutorials so they can improve as well. And if you would like to keep helping me make these videos, please visit my Patreon. And if you become a member over there, you'll have sneak peeks on all the projects I'm working on and everything I am up to. With this, Thunder out.